Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do my September 2023 book haul. So I did buy a lot of books this month. Now, I did buy most of them are used, so I didn't spend that much money, and I did use credit for a good portion of them. My dad and I did our annual trip to PALS. Unfortunately for us, it took us until September to actually go do that, but I did do that, and then I went to a couple of my used bookstores at other times. And I have a few pre-orders and stuff. And yeah, you know what? It's just the way it is. So I don't usually show you guys what audiobooks that I purchase very often, except I just want to point out that I bought these because I won't be able to buy physical books because they're not out yet until next year. But I did but I am reading them. So I did I bought Wolf Song by TJ Klune on audio, as well as Brother Song, which are books 3 and 4 of the Green Creek series. That one, yeah. So I'm binging the series right now as we speak. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get the last book done pretty soon. But I bought audiobooks for them with credits, so I have no credits left at Audible. Oh, anyway, right now because I had to get those. So I don't regret those at all. So let's talk about, I just wanted to mention those because I am actively reading them, but I won't have physicals until next year when they come out. So I bought a few pre-orders. A couple of them are ones I've read before or I'm in the middle of, so it's kind of weird. I did buy the physical copy of, paperback copy of Nona the Ninth, because there's a bonus story in here. I don't know why I let myself pre-order that, and I'm trying to decide if I want to move all my tabs from my hardback to the paperback, because again, I had the first two in the Locked Tomb series. I have Gideon the Ninth and Harold the Ninth in paperback. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do on here, but I pre-ordered the third book. Again, it was my first book I read this year, and really, and I loved it. It's, I love that series. Locked Tomb series is, they always talk about lesbian necromancers in space, but there's just so much more to it. That series is just so complicated, and I can't wait for my reread. So I might do that. Anyway, I did buy the next, the book 3, I think. Is this book 3? I think. In the, O'Malley series by Katie Robert. Yeah, so this is book 3. I haven't read this series yet. This is her contemporary mafia kind of series, romance series. So I haven't even started this one. I have the first 3 books because they've come out pre-order, and I just ordered them or bought them. So I should really start this series. But again, I really respect Katie Robert and have liked almost all of the books that I've read by her. So I'm just taking a chance on these and supporting her and buying the books. So I will get to that series at some point. I just have to be in the right mood for a contemporary romance. And then I don't know why I bought these, but they were pretty. So I bought the Crescent City special editions that Barnes & Noble had. They're really pretty. I didn't need to buy these. I am still in the middle of House of Sky and Breath, but I did reread House of Earth and Blood just a few months ago after I read it earlier this year. So I think this is going to be a series I really enjoy. I mean, so far I do, but they were so pretty. I bought them on the pre-order sale. Maybe not my best purchase, but they're really pretty. Okay, and then so those are all the ones I pre-ordered. So here's all the books that I've bought new that I bought in September. I did buy Masters of Death by Olivia Blake. I have not read anything by Olivia Blake, but this premise just sounds so much fun. I think it has to do with someone's trying to sell a haunted house, and then she tries to get, she's a real estate agent and she's a vampire, and then she tries to get a medium to help her, but he's kind of like a fake, but he's somehow connected to death. And then I don't know what beyond that. I've heard good things. And again, I'm not really attracted to the other plots of her books, but this one, like, as soon as I heard it, I wanted to get it. So, I used my Barnes & Noble points, or, for that. And then they had a sale, I think around Labor Day or something. with percentages off and extra points. And anyway, it was really cheap for what I paid for it. So anyway, so I don't want to get to that. Hopefully in October. That one sounded like an October read. A book that I have started that I need to finish is What the Hex by Jessica Clare. This is book 2 in the Hex series. The first book was Go Hex Yourself, which I really enjoyed. So this is another romance with witches where they're fake dating because he can't have a familiar to help him with his spell casting, except unless it's under the table. And she is so desperate to become a familiar that she takes a chance, and then hijinks ensues. So anyway, hopefully I'll get to finish that off. I bought The Witches of Bone Hill by Ava Morgan. I don't even know, this was one of those books I bought just kind of on a whim. And I think it has to do with, there's some sisters who inherit a house in Connecticut, and then they're down on their luck, and so they, due to relationships and things, and they go there, and there's something about their history is there. There's some haunting family secret. Anyway, but it's another witch book. So we'll see. I've not seen anybody talk about that. That one I picked up completely on a whim. Another one that I ordered that I don't remember why I bought this at some point is In the Shadow Garden by Liz Parker, which again it looks like magical town in Kentucky, with three family witches, and there's some weird garden, and somebody gave up something that happened like 20 years ago. Everybody forgot a summer when somebody died and somebody disappeared, but nobody remembers why, because this memory's gone away, and I think things kind of come back. So it kind of sounds like it's I don't know why, it just sounds good. We'll see what happens. I did pick up The Lightning Struck Heart by TJ Klune, which is the first book in the Vernania, I don't know how you say that, series. So because I was really loving the Green Creek series, I decided to pick up the other series, pick up the first book in that one. And I don't remember, it just talks about people, there's hornless unicorns. And half giants and stuff. So I don't know, it's fantasy romance, I think. So and I've heard good things about this too. And again, TJ Klune is definitely a favorite author at this point. So I just want to try his other series. So maybe I'll be binging that one very soon. And then the last new book that I got was Gallows Hall by Darcy Coates. This was this isn't one of her older ones. This is another haunted house book that let's see here. This is 2022. So this one is about I think a girl, her parents had this winery, and then they died before they were leaving or something. I don't remember. Something to do with that. And then again, it's years later, and she comes back, and then things are kind of spooky. So anyway, I love Darcy Coates' haunted houses and her things to do with kind of paranormal stuff. So I'm looking forward to another book by her. Again, another one I would like to get to in spooky season, but we will see. So then let's talk about all the used books I got. So again, this is a mixture of stuff that I bought at Pal's when I was with my dad, or I bought online from eBay, or when I went to Arcade Book Exchange, which is over in Hillsborough, and I just stopped by there one day. So I think that's everything. Oh, and there was a library book sale. Yeah, there was. So there's the Beaverton City Library book sale. So that's why there's so many. So one of the books I picked up was Night Rising, which is the first book in the Vampire Babylon series by Chris Marie Green. I don't know anything about this before I picked this up, but it just sounded interesting about a stunt woman whose mom was very famous movie star, and I think she died. And then so her dad has brought her up, and he wasn't the greatest dad, but then something happens and he disappears, and then she discovers that there are paranormal elements in the city. And I think it takes place in like Hollywood, but I'm not sure if it's like Hollywood of our world, or like, I don't know how they just tell it. She's at, I don't know. I'm not quite sure exactly. So anyway, it sounds interesting. So another series. One I picked up on eBay was Uncanny Times, a Huntman's novel by Laura Ann Gilman. So this one, I think I saw like an ad or something on, maybe when I was scrolling at eBay, I'm not even sure. I saw it somewhere, and it's a historical urban fantasy. I think it's 1913 America, and you know, technology is starting to come about, but there are shadows in the past that still move, the things inhuman and uncanny. And so I think that there's a brother-sister team that are looking at a relative's death that was kind of odd. And I know there's at least another book in this series. So anyway, it just sounded kind of cool. It was urban fantasy double, you know. I did pick up a Stephen King revival because this is one of those ones that I never picked up. I have, you know, well, you guys can't. Below is my Stephen King collection, and I stopped buying a lot of them. I have a couple of the newer ones, but this is one of the ones during a period where I wasn't buying much Stephen King, and I've always wanted to kind of read this one because it has to do. I hear that even though there's the religious element to this, that there's a lot of other stuff, of course. So I think there's this minister comes, and he and then there's things go wrong. Let's just put it that way. I'm not quite sure like what, but I just know it's just Stephen King. It's a horror. Things happen. I don't even know. Like it's just one of those ones I wanted to try. I did pick up On the Marble Cliffs by Ernest Unger, I think is how it's said. This is I think a German book written in German and translated by Tess Lewis. So this is like a little fantasy from what I remember. But they're living in some ancient house, and I can't remember. It has to do with war because it's written you know, during war, you know, early 20th century. So I don't know how it's you know how it connects. But I remember it's kind of like a fantasy element in it too. So I don't know enough about it, but as I said, I picked it up kind of on a whim. I picked up a couple of Penguin classics that were histories. I have Tacius, I don't know, Annuals of Imperial Rome, and Solus, Catilin's War, the Justinian War, I don't know, and histories. So they're both like historians from Roman time periods. This is like, I think they, like, one of them knew Cicero. I don't know, or younger contemporary of Cicero is this one. And then this one, I think he was just after. Well, he writes about Nero. So anyway, I just thought that would be kind of, I mean, there might be a time where I read some classics that are of that. I don't know. I got it really cheap anyway. I also picked up another translated novel, Endless Blue Sky by Lee Haisuki, I think. This is translated by Stephen D. Kapender, and I think it's Korean. I'm not positive. Yes, Korean. So this one I saw somewhere on Instagram at some point, and then I had it on my list for like years. And it has to do with a writer and a Korean writer and a Russian dancer, and I think it's their story. I'm sure it's not a happy story, but it might be good for translated fiction at some point to read. I do have The Secret Diaries of Miss Anne Lister. This is the first part, the first section, I believe, of that. I can't remember. There was a second title to it. I don't remember what. But yeah. Oh no, maybe this is the second. What part did I buy? I don't remember. This one has, well, it says 1816 to 1824. So anyway, it's part of her diaries. Again, this is the one that's that, you know, she lived very differently in the early 1800s, and then this is her diary of talking about her exploits pretty much. And again, it doesn't have like, they're not long excerpts. So this is something I'd like to read maybe next year, for Jane Austen July, if I don't get to it before that. I did buy the first section. They didn't have the second section. I'm pretty sure this is the first one. But anyway, I will check into that more. But definitely this will be, if I want diary entries at some point, which is, it doesn't look like it'll be a quick read, but I could read, you know, a few sections and then move on. So anyway, just sounded kind of interesting. I also got Brave Companions, Portraits in History by David McCullough. So these are, I think, histories, some of his histories, or some of his essays on different people in history, or different, like, different places and things, like Journey to the Top of the World, The American Adventure of Louis of Zaz, I don't know, The Unexpected Mr. Stove. So, like, there's, like, just his, so he's written a lot of the big, he wrote the Truman biography, which I have not read yet. He wrote, oh, I know he's read some Revolutionary War ones, because I've read them. The Path Between the Seas, The Great Bridge, The Johnstown Flood. He's read wrote other ones. And so I think these are just some of his, these are more like essays on different things. So I was thinking of maybe doing this during nonfiction November, and be able to just read like a chapter a day kind of thing and get through it. So I don't know. I picked it up kind of on a whim. I picked up a horror, The Good House by Tanavaridu, is that how you say her name? I tried to read her her vampire series, and I had those books on my shelf for years, and I just could not get into it. So I wanted to try one of her more horror books, and again, this one has to do with, I think, a woman whose son died in this house, and then I don't remember why she has to come back to it, and or what's going on, but I think it's more you know, it's dealing with grief, and then there's obviously some kind of horror element to it. I'm not sure, but anyway, I've heard good things about that one, so I thought I'd try that. I also found The Ranger of Marzana by John Scoveron. So this is the first book in a trilogy, and I think this one has to do with two siblings who are on, I think, that are kind of not, I don't know if they're on opposing sides, but they both have different things that they want. She is a ranger, and I think he is trying to be a wizard, of the most powerful wizard, you know, sorcerer in the world. So I think they're gonna go, I think it's gonna be like a rival, you know, a sibling rivalry kind of thing, but we'll see. But it's fantasy, and it looks kind of cool. I don't know. Again, not used. I picked up Semiosis by Sue Burke. This is one of those sci-fi ones that I've been staring at for a while that I just wanted to read. I might even have the ebook, but obviously I haven't read it. So this one says colonists from Earth wanted the perfect home, but when they'll have to survive on the one that they found. They don't realize another life form watches and waits. So again, this is a first contact, but clearly the humans are in the wrong. Anyway, we'll see what happens with that one. And I don't know if that's a duology. I know there's at least one more book. I can't remember if it's more than that. I then also bought a copy of The Warden by Daniel M. Ford. I read this earlier this year and really enjoyed it. And this is a series I will be continuing. A second book is coming out next year. So I bought a used copy off of eBay, and it was actually a really good copy for the price I got. So anyway, this is a fantasy. They say Twin Peaks kind of inspired, but not really. don't take it from that. But it's this world where what do they call? They call them magisters, you know, so they're magic. And she is sent out to this small town, and you know, she is supposed to be protecting the area, and things kind of go wrong from there as a warden there. And not what she expects. And there's conspiracies of something. There's so much packed into this little book of stuff that could come. Now I'm really excited to see how it goes. I really enjoyed it overall. Other than I thought, you know, maybe a little short, but I think it starts a world that I really want to know more about. So I know at least there's a book 2 that's coming out. soon. And so I had to buy a copy of that. I could have waited for paperback, but I found it really cheap for used. And then I bought a few books in a series that I have only read the first book, but I plan next year to kind of focus on it. So I bought a couple of October Day books. I got Night and Silence and The Unkindest Tide. Again, all these are by Shannon McGuire. I also got Once Broken Faith and Late Eclipses. So my collection is not going to be pretty at this point, but I just want to have them because I'm going to read these, I think, next year. And these are farther in the series. I own the first 2, and then I own, I think, 5 and 6, and then whatever these ones are later in the series. It's a pretty long series. I think there's, I don't know, I think there's at least 18 books. There might be more than that now. I don't know. Point is, it's a urban fantasy following October Day, who is, I think she's half fae. But the first book, and Rosemary and Rue, she kind of comes out of something, a magical spell, and the whole world, things have changed since she's been gone, and she is just trying to find her footing again in the San Francisco area where she lives and works and stuff. And so it's kind of her dealing with other fae and other creatures in the area. I think it kind of becomes kind of like detective or private detective-ish, but I'm not positive. I can't remember because again, I only read the first book and I read it several years ago, so I will be rereading that, as I said, probably in January is my goal, but we'll see what happens. And so I've collected, again, some books so that I can continue that series when I get back into it. I probably shouldn't have bought those because of I'm not anywhere near these in the series, but I just did. It was that kind of month. Anyway, so that is all the books that I bought, and a couple audiobooks that I bought this month. Yeah, I bought a lot of stuff. Is there anything in here that you think I need to focus on or get to faster, than anything else? Is there anything that you really, really enjoyed? Let me know that too. Did you guys buy anything really cool in September? Let me know, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.